At this point, we're supposed to be watching Kevin Durant slow down. That's how the NBA works, right? Mid-30s, multiple major injuries, nearly 2 decades of mileage. History says this is where the decline starts. And yet, Kevin Durant is still here, still unguardable, still putting defenders in impossible situations, still forcing entire game plans to revolve around one guy with the ball. The league keeps waiting for the drop-off, and Kevin Durant keeps refusing to give it to them. So today, we're asking a simple question. How does Kevin Durant keep doing this? And more importantly, why does it look like he has no intention of slowing down anytime soon? When Kevin Durant tore his Achilles in the 2019 finals, the basketball world collectively held its breath. Because Achilles injuries don't care who you are. They ended Kobe's prime. They robbed DeMarcus Cousins of his momentum. They've shortened careers, altered legacies, and turned stars into shadows of themselves. And for a 7-footer whose game relied on mobility, touch, and fluid movement, the expectations were brutal. Most people weren't asking if KD would return. They were asking how diminished he'd be. Would the burst be gone? Would the lift disappear? Would the jumper lose its consistency? And maybe most importantly, would Kevin Durant still be Kevin Durant? Then Kevin Durant came back, and within minutes, it was clear something was wrong with the story we'd all been told. The jumper looked the same, the handle looked the same, the footwork looked the same. Actually, some parts looked better. In the 2021 playoffs, Durant put on one of the greatest individual performances in postseason history. 50-point games, series-saving shots, 1 inch away from eliminating the eventual champions almost entirely by himself. And that was the moment the conversation shifted. This wasn't a comeback story. This was a redefinition of aging in the modern NBA. Kevin Durant's longevity starts with one truth. His game was never built on athleticism. Yes, he's long. Yes, he's fluid. Yes, he can still move. But KD doesn't beat you with speed. He doesn't rely on vertical explosion. He doesn't need separation. At 7 feet tall with a high release point, his jumper is unblockable. Not because of how fast he is, but because of geometry. He shoots over contests. He shoots over double teams. He shoots over good defense. That means even as athleticism fades, his effectiveness doesn't. And unlike players who rely on physical dominance, Durant's skill set actually benefits from experience. Every year he learns where defenders lean, when help arrives, how teams rotate, and which matchup is just barbecue chicken. That knowledge compounds. In a league obsessed with threes and layups, Kevin Durant has quietly mastered the most ignored shot in basketball, the mid-range. But not just any mid-range. KD's mid-range shots come from off one dribble, from triple threat, out of post-ups, and in late clock situations. When defenses take away the rim and chase shooters off the line, Durant doesn't force the issue. He calmly rises from 15 to 18 feet and ends the possession. And here's the part people miss. That shot is physically easier on the body. Less contact, less strain, less risk. That's not just good offense, that's career preservation. If athleticism declines with age, basketball IQ doesn't. And Kevin Durant's understanding of the game might be the best it's ever been. He reads coverages instantly. He anticipates help defenders. He manipulates spacing with subtle movement. KD doesn't rush possessions anymore. He controls them. And when the game slows down, especially in the playoffs, that's when Durant thrives. Because when things get ugly, when sets break down, when defenses clamp up, there are very few players in NBA history you'd rather give the ball to. Kevin Durant has spent his career being misunderstood. Too quiet, too reserved, not vocal enough. But leadership isn't always yelling. Sometimes it's showing up every night. Sometimes it's guarding the best scorer. Sometimes it's hitting the shot that saves the game. KD leads by example. And in locker rooms, that matters more than speeches. Young players watch how he works. Veterans respect how he prepares. Coaches trust his feel for the game. That's why, no matter where he goes, teams believe they can win now. Here's the scary part. There is no blueprint to stop Kevin Durant. You can switch smaller defenders, but he shoots over them. You can send bigs, but he pulls them out. You can double team, but he passes. You can play him straight up. Good luck. And unlike younger stars, Durant doesn't force hero ball. He lets the defense make the mistake. Which is why, even at this stage of his career, He's still one of the most efficient scorers in basketball. The NBA keeps waiting for Kevin Durant to slow down, but the truth is, he was never running the same race as everyone else. His game doesn't rely on youth. It doesn't depend on explosion, and it isn't tied to a specific era. Kevin Durant built a style that ages gracefully, and as long as he can rise up and shoot, as long as he can read defenses, and as long as basketball still values buckets, Kevin Durant will be there, still scoring, still dominating, still refusing to slow down. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one for some more NBA content.